everybody, welcome along to the Monkey Barrel Comedy Chat Show. I'm your host, George Fox. If this is your first episode, this is where we sit down with comedians that are visiting the Monkey Barrel Comedy venue and we interview them, get to know them a little bit better. And this week, we have a wonderful guest. It's the wonderful Ben Pope.
Hello.
Welcome along. How are you?
I'm okay, man.
How has your day been?
How's my day been? Really nice. I woke up. I read my book.
Always a perfect start.
You're absolutely right. The days I don't wake up are so sad.
Have you ever had a point in your life where you slept for over 24 hours? You've missed a day?
I don't think a full day, but I've definitely done that thing where you wake up in the afternoon.
What's happened?
And then all sort of concept of
especially
time
winter, because you go to bed, it's nighttime,
and then
sun's down, wake up. Sun's still down.
I am au fait with the concept of winter. Thank you. Thank you, George. Yeah.
I have to do this for people at home. This is for people at home. You never know.
God bless you if you're still
everything's piped out into space these days. I need people to understand. If you talk about a day, I'll explain how 24 hours work. I'll explain units from the sun. This is important stuff for
it's
the
Wikipedia
future.
over there. I love you.
So, Ben, we like to kind of get to know people at the start of the podcast. We like to know their vibe. How would you describe your vibe to people?
Sort of retired librarian.
Well, that's good.
I have a very soft voice that people at customer service often struggle to hear correctly. I like to wear knitwear. I read lots of books. Retired librarian. Yeah.
I thought that was all nice, but I just let people know and people listening that in the background, I could just watch producer Claire. The second you said I'm a little librarian, she went, oh. And then as you mentioned more things, she just lost her shit laughing.
Yeah.
God, what is so you're in customer service sometimes with a bookshop, and that's got to be a lot of fun. A lot of horny books these days, I believe.
There are a lot of horny books these days.
So many horny books, isn't it? Is it romantasy? Is romance fantasy?
Yes.
So it's like a bunch of people thought, oh, Lord of the Rings is good, but what if everyone fucked?
Yeah,
I believe is the vibe.
Where's the dick? Where's that? Where's the dick in all of this?
Yeah,
you know?
and it's all fairies that are they call them fae, isn't that a thing?
Yeah. That is a thing. Stop pretending like you don't read these.
Listen, my partner Steph loves these books, but here's the weird thing that keeps coming up in these books. What keeps coming up is people fall in love and then find out, oh, we're siblings. Whoops. And then later on in the book they find out they're actually not siblings. But she hates when she starts reading a book and I'll see her go. And I look over and be like, incest again? She's like, yeah. And then later on in the book, she'll be like, no, it's fine. They're not.
Yeah.
It's something to do with being both fae. They're from different trees or something. It's fine.
Sure. The old Star Wars reveal. We'll make them kiss and then
later on.
Yes, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
George Lucas was like, and then later on, it'll be really hot. I'm like, no, it's not like that at all, George Lucas. Cool. So when did you get started in comedy?
I started sort of when I was at university. Really, is when I sort of fell in love with the idea of it when I was a teenager, because it was like that kind of golden period of like a ton of panel shows and loads of like kind of specials on Channel 4 and stuff. Yeah. So I was very excited about it.
Late 90s, early 2000s, just stand-up was just everywhere.
All over the place. But I was still a teenager, and so fatally unable to do anything about this new love because a teenager doing comedy is unconscionable.
Yeah. It's like a child seeing a firefighter. You're like, I like it, but I have no access to it. And if I tried to do it, it would be awful.
Yes, people would scream at me. Many have died in the face of teenage comedy. So I started doing it at university where there was a lot of like sketch comedy and stuff. And then I moved to the big city when I was 21. And so now I'm 32. I have been doing it for over a decade. And what a landmark that is in a person's life.
Don't do this. Every time I have guests on, I ask them about their past. They get to this point in the podcast where they're like, what am I doing? I can't have any more existential crises on this podcast. I can't have people shutting down.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, the great thing about doing this, the longer you do it, the better you get, and the more like, comfortable you become with it, and the more fun. So I'm not like, I'm not scared by the fact that it's more just that it's so easy to mark the time. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're like, oh, wow, comedy is like a new part of my life, but it really isn't anymore. It's like the majority of my life now, you know.
And it's even weirder when you talk to younger comics and you're like, oh, who are your influences or who did you enjoy growing up?
God.
And they're naming people that you were doing comedy when you were doing comedy.
Yes.
You're like,
yes.
oh, okay.
Or who you were at like open mics with. And you're like,
Yes.
oh, why am I not your hero then? Huh? That's the bitterness within me. It's like, I want to be more beloved, George. This
Yeah.
is the, you know.
Cool, but that we all
that's
want
why
that.
we're here today.
Absolutely. We want the love and we're gonna share it around. Even worse is when people mention people you've never heard. You're like, oh, who's your favorite comedian? They're like, oh, I love Little Pip. And you're like, who? Oh, they're on TikTok. They do unboxing videos, but inside the box, it's always just a glass of urine. What? The video, and then you look it up, and it's like 100 million views.
Classic Little Pip.
Classic Little Pip.
Pips all over that. The other thing I find often now that really throws me is when you go past like a big venue, like a big like like a Hackney Empire or like like the Edinburgh Playhouse, and you're going past it and it's got like someone doing their tour show there and they're doing like 100 dates across the world, and it says like Edinburgh Playhouse sold out, and you look at the person and you go, I have never seen that human being before in my entire life.
Yes.
And they're famous from some forgotten becobwebbed corner of the internet that is not forgotten, that is just is inhabited by loads of people
It's
you don't
just
know.
a different vibe, and you're just like, what is this? Or when you go by and you see people getting ready to go into the show, and there's hundreds, if not thousands of them, and they're either wearing costumes or t-shirts referencing things, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
How have I just missed something?
So many
this
people
big?
feel like a burning passion for something that I have absolutely zero context for.
Like it's
I have
not
no
even on
idea.
the periphery.
Yeah, I just like never seen these people, but it's very discombobulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So you're one of our guests. We've had a few guests on. So I think I've mentioned on the podcast before, I think it was 2018? I was meant to be doing a TV thing in Ireland, and they were like, oh, you got to leave August free because that's when we're filming it. And I was like, that's Fringe time. That's a really bad idea. We should maybe move it. And they're like, no, this is when it's happening. So I left August free. And then just as it got to August, they were like, oh, the other comedians that are in the show have told us that they're doing the Fringe. So they're bigger deals. So we're going to move it to September now. And then, spoiler, it eventually recorded in December. But I was left then going, oh, fuck. All right, what am I going to do? I'm going to be in Edinburgh during August for 2018. And a comedian guy I knew, Francis Breen, shout out to Francis Breen, was working with a company. And he was like, oh, we're looking for people who, are going to flyer. And I was like, well, my girlfriend's going to be working here today. Maybe I'll flyer some shows. I fucking flyered for Ben Pope.
Oh my God. You did?
I did.
You did?
You forgot about that, did you?
I now know you primarily as a comedian and not a flyer.
I think we gigged before then as well. I was just like, I remember you walked in and went, hey.
Yeah.
Are you doing a show? I was like, no, I'm just busying myself for the days. Cause,
so confusing it was.
but yeah, it's you and Olga Koch we had here. And God, I did a great job. I did a great job selling that show.
You did.
I did a great job.
Yeah,
I think it was, I don't know if it was a Sasquatch or was it?
Yeah. It was, that show was called Ben Pope Baby Sasquatch, which is a name I now look back on and go, what was I doing? I was so hell-bent on it. I was like, this is a great
I still
name.
remember the pitch for your show. I would walk up to people and be like, hey, can I pitch in a show? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, hey, you know how everyone at some point in their life goes, hey, what if I just went out there into the world, went adventuring and tried to find myself? Well, this guy's done it. And it was a fucking nightmare. Yeah. And I would see people go, oh. And I was like, you should pay the money to go see this show because you're going to save yourself thousands in the future from not having to go and find yourself. He's found himself, wasn't happy about it. Come see the show.
That is such a good pitch.
Thank you. I was proud of it at the time.
That's so good.
And it worked so well. People would go, oh, okay.
Oh, I need you on my new show, George. My new show that I'm taking to the Fringe this year and then on tour is all about how I got circumcised last year. So I really need your marketing nous to work out how I'm going to come up to people with
this out.
Yeah.
All right. Day one of Fringe, I'll meet up with your flyers.
Please.
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this guy. He did a show called Baby Sasquatch. Very confusing. Don't know how to explain that to people.
It's I literally don't know how I'm going to do it. It's
no, you'll figure it out.
I don't want to be walking around Edinburgh holding giving people pictures of my faces and going like, "Do you want to hear about my dick?" Like, I just don't know how we're gonna make anyway.
That could be charming.
Done in a charming way.
Yeah, if you have flyers to wear a t-shirt that says "Ask me about his dick,"
Yeah.
and a flyer out, and there you go.
Yeah, here we go. This is what I wanted. This is it. Crunching the numbers.
Yeah, but no, I remember that year was such fantastic fun, and I remember people coming back after seeing your show because you'd be flying for the shows afterwards, and they were like, "Thank you, loved it, great fun." So that was always nice when, because you never want people to come back and be like, "I hate it." So you're like, all right, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I think that's the first place I saw you, though. I think I mentioned earlier was the sketch troupe that you did.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic, really good fun. And then you're touring this new show around. Mm-hmm. Do you remember though? Do you remember your first joke?
I don't know that I do remember my first joke.
It doesn't even need to be on stage. Do you remember the first time you made people laugh, or an impactful moment in your childhood where you made people laugh?
I remember. Okay, here's an example of both of those things. I don't know if necessarily they are like the kind of OG versions of either, but they'll do for now. I remember in my first set, I had a joke about how, when you're nervous on stage and people recommend that you picture the audience naked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have never relaxed when I've seen a stranger naked.
It's a very stressful thing.
Because it's either like someone, it's a sexual situation and it's quite nerve-wracking, or it's someone in the street being like that. Yeah. So neither of those. So they don't understand also why, and like the idea of it being like, it was like the opposite of a strip club where like everyone was naked in the audience staring at me.
When you see someone naked, you think like, oh, I'm going to have to get naked now. If it's a good situation, or oh, I'm going to have to run. It's a weirdo on the street. It's one or the other.
Yeah, it puts you in a sort of state of authority that you didn't really want to be. I'm in charge of all these naked people now.
I think whoever said that as a theory, that was just his kink. It's just like, it's great if you imagine that everyone in the audience is naked, and then you get up on stage and he's in the front row, legs spread, sitting there, looking up at you going... You're thinking about it, aren't you? You're thinking about me nude. Oh my goodness.
So that was like a first joke. But then I remember being like maybe like 10 or something. And I remember talking to my parents and some of my parents' friends who'd come around for dinner. Mm-hmm. And maybe I wasn't 10, maybe I was a teenager. I don't know. It was around the time Barbara Windsor died. And
Babs?
Yeah. Well, that's
so funny to
but
say,
that literally.
This is how I find out.
Yeah. But this is the thing: is I only knew that her name was Babs Windsor. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that she was called Barbara Windsor.
Yeah.
So I was like, to all these adults, as like a kind of tween, going, "Did you hear about Babs Windsor?" And they all started laughing, and I didn't understand why. And it was because I was so sincerely talking about Barbara Windsor as if she was my friend, as if she knew. And it was one of those things where it wasn't like everyone was laughing, and I didn't know why, and it really bugged me. And so I spent like a long time trying to work out what exact. And I think that was like the beginning of like, I need to work out. I need to like do the maths on like social scenarios.
Why did I get that reaction?
Yeah. What's going on?
I was speaking to a lot of comedians. They always have examples here, like of making people laugh the first time being like a weird, why did they laugh? I want to understand why those adults laughed at me.
Yeah.
I should also point out, I'm pretty sure Barbara Windsor's died within the last 5 years. So I think you were 25. Ewan, we got Ewan here. You can check behind the scenes. Please put in Babs Windsor dead? Question mark.
This is going to be embarrassing.
I do love the idea that you talk about all celebrities gossip as if it's a good friend of yours. You're like, guys...
2020?
No. Oh my God.
Okay, so it must have not been about her death. It must have been just in general talking about Barbara Windsor.
Maybe she died on EastEnders. Maybe that's what they'd done.
Oh, maybe.
They killed her off her character. Could have been that.
Yeah.
Like, Babs, huh?
Yeah, okay.
Her and Pat are not getting on well together these days.
Must have been something like... Okay, that's really thrown me for six. I promise I didn't...
Guess what? The theme of this podcast is comedians tell anecdotes and I go, factually incorrect. Very funny, but factually wrong. All right? I bring the TED Talk to comedy. I'm like, no.
Mythbusters over there. You're actually dressed a bit like the guys from Mythbusters.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. All right, let's bust some myths. I look like if both of them put sperm in a thing and mixed it up, and then this is what comes out. Hey,
Cocktail, like.
Okay, so we have we have a little part of the show that we'd like to go into. It's the social media time machine. We have a post from your past. And we're going to take a look at it on the screen.
This?
Most of these come from 2020. I feel like this is going to be you dressed as Barbara Windsor.
Okay, you guys said this was not like an interrogative thing that I wasn't going to get done in.
Well, here we go. Here's your picture here. For people who are listening on Spotify or wherever you get your audio podcasts, it is you. You're in Finland. You are in the snow. You're wrapped up and you're holding a bag that is not a QR code, but looks like a QR code.
It may even be a QR code on that bag. Yeah.
I think if I scan that, it'll just take me to Barbara Windsor's Wikipedia page. But the version that says she died in 1999.
Oh, R.I.P. Babs.
So what is the story behind this picture? When is this?
So this is in Helsinki. For fact nerds, the capital of Finland. Just throwing that out there.
It feels like you're getting defensive now, like, and I have been there. It's not a green screen photo, George. You can't turn to me again.
Barbara Windsor was there too, and I was visiting a friend of mine from the sketch group I was in prior. Well, sort of, I used to be in, called Princess of Maine, and the friend is called Jamie Fraser, and he's a very good director and writer. And I was visiting. He lives in Finland now, so I went to go and visit him. It was Finland's great because it is. Anyway, the times I've been, because I've gone in like January, February. Yeah. And it is exactly how you want like a Scandinavian country to. There was the snow. Yeah. There were the saunas. There was like fish and like, reindeer jerky. And like you could just, there was like a thing.
Like that last part, that's poor reindeers. Very nice.
Well, okay. I mean.
You want to touch the reindeer? Yeah. You want to ride the reindeer?
You want to jerk the reindeer?
Want to eat the reindeer?
I'm sorry. No, it was the like beef jerky, but it was delicious. I wish I had said that now. Anyway, so yeah, it was a treat. It's very nice. I'm very into saunas in general. I find them. Okay, thank you, Claire.
Thank you, Claire, for your little laugh behind the scenes.
I just think they're great.
It's kind of a very cultural thing there in Finland, isn't it? Whereas like you finish your day, you go in the sauna, you come out, you jump in a big pool of cold water. Yeah. I think I'm just referencing one YouTube video of some weirdos. And they all do that.
No, but it's very like that. And it's good because it's like, as with a lot of Scandinavia, like they care a lot more about sort of like public health in a way that we don't. So a lot of that stuff is really cheap or free or like, and so they have like loads of great, like really good swimming pool, really good like sauna situations where you...
And I bet they save the money on the back end from, the health service that they don't have to worry about because I'm sure people are living longer, being healthier.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sweat out that disease.
Yeah. And, they've got a good diet of reindeer jerky and...
Turns out reindeer jerky keeps you alive.
That's
amazing.
It's good for you. I'm a big fan. I'm a big convert.
So at this point, had you been in well, this is the opposite of a sauna. This is standing outside in the cold. But had you been in a sauna by this point?
I think so. Yeah, I think...
you have the feel of somebody who's very relaxed.
The look of triumph on my face, probably from...
I feel like it's weird, though, saunas. Sweating is normally you're uncomfortable, you've been exercising. The idea of sweating and being relaxed. Confusing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of that. Yeah, you have to be able to put up with a little discomfort in the same way with the ice baths, right? I really struggle to say ice baths there. Ice bath, the ice bath. It is uncomfortable. Like putting it is gross, but then when you get out, you get the buzz.
I see. It's like when people do put themselves in those big ice baths, and you're like, why? And they're like, because when you get out, you feel great. And
yes, exactly it. Yeah, I mean, there's the same. I never wanted to be one of these people who's like, when you go for a run, you get like a runner's high and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, they are all correct.
They are. And that's what's upsetting. The second you get to it and you go, fuck, they're right. Yeah. I was hoping they were wrong.
And it like lasts longer than like the high you get from caffeine and alcohol and stuff. which is so upsetting. 'cause
It's
I love
not. It's
both
not
of those.
depressive. You don't feel terrible the next day.
No.
You're like, oh man,
No, it's like a
I have to
cumulative.
do this
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And feel happy and great about it and want to do it. Oh God,
And you
it's
have to be
disgusting.
naked in order to do a lot of it, which you don't have to do if you're just drinking coffee.
When you went into the sauna, did you have to sit with nude people, or were they all toweled up? Or
There's a mixture. There's you can do.
you know what they
there's
say:
one-
if you get nervous about being in a sauna, try to imagine everyone with clothes on.
That's
We have fun, everybody, on this podcast. I looked
that
over at
was
Claire at that
lovely
joke,
one.
and she's just like, "Fuck's sake."
lovely work.
Yeah, but they do come in. There's some people who are
Yeah, fully. And like I've gone in the naked ones, and at first I was very nervous about that. But then it's very freeing. You know,
Yeah.
it's very. You know, you learn to. And also, I would say is there's less because it's culturally normal.
Yeah.
and
Nobody's
also
like,
yeah, and it's less.
who
of
brought the reindeer jerky in here?
There's less like it's not like going to a gym and everyone's like, oh my god, look, oh.
I thought it was going to have the vibe of like, imagine a gym changing room with lots of naked old men, but it's also boiling hot,
Yeah,
and you think
yeah,
you might
yeah.
faint. That seems like a nightmare. But no, I'm glad to hear it's not necessarily
And
like
also,
that.
mostly the people there are also like in their 50s and 60s plus. So it's really, you know, you're not necessarily that keen to be looking around or to be looked at.
It's like,
you know,
mind your own business.
yeah. It's,
Which I guess in our society, not the same. Any bit of flesh, people are,
oh wow,
I'm looking to judge.
my
Okay.
goodness, those ankles. Whoa. Do you know what I mean?
I'm looking at a naked person trying to imagine what it's like to be a comedian, okay? That's what I do. So we have questions that have been sent in by our previous guest.
Okay, who
For
was-
you, our previous guest is Rachel Fairburn.
Oh,
And Rachel sent in some 3 cracking questions for you.
did she
We're
know
gonna-
it was me? Or did they
I
just-
believe so. No,
No.
she
Okay.
didn't.
Okay. Cool.
I feel like Claire could have just said, yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
And we wouldn't have known.
We'll find out.
But that's Claire. She won't let you live a lie.
The questions are like, what do you wear bra-wise? Like, oh, okay, it's just probably not for me.
If
then,
you
I go,
hadn't
yeah.
called out that bit where you made the mistake about ice bath, the second this ended, Claire would have gone, did you mean to fuck up the word ice bath? So we got questions from Rachel. You'll hear the audio now if you're listening to the audio version. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, here comes the video for you. Let's check it out together on the big screen.
Here are my 3 questions. 1. Have you ever had a supernatural experience? Question 2. What is the fashion style that you really wish you could wear, but you just know would never suit you? Question 3. What is the thing that you've said, like at a party or, you know, just to another person, and it's quite innocuous, but you wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about it, thinking, why did I say that?
These are hard questions.
Hard questions. Rachel did not fuck around at all. Rachel,
No.
here's my questions.
Yeah.
It was really straight into it. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Yeah.
Fucking great questions. Really great questions. So there's 3 questions there, hard-hitting ones. So question number 1 was, have you ever had a supernatural experience?
I don't think so. No.
No.
I've definitely been. I've been spooked. I've been like scared in dark places.
Yes, which is a normal thing. Well, let's start with, do you believe in the supernatural?
No.
Thank you for saying no.
I had a
Of course
Catholic
not.
upbringing. I've
Yeah.
had all of that kind of
Had that,
ironed
felt
out.
it.
Do you know what I mean?
Gone to mass, smelt that weird stinky thing they take out 5 minutes before the end, which is so weird. I still to this day, I'm like, what is that? And why don't other religions have it? I love it because it's like mass is almost over.
Yes,
Swinging around that weird goblet of.
you're so right.
It's like a mace, but it just smells.
yeah. There's so much like the smells and the bells.
Yeah.
You're like, it's nearly over. Let's
How
get
many
out
more
there.
times am I gonna have to fucking say, and also with you under my breath, like, please, God.
And with thy spirit now these days, of course.
Is that what they say these days?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's a while since you've been at mass, isn't it?
I went back to Ireland and went to my nephew's christening.
Oh.
And
What did they call him?
what do they call?
your nephew?
Oh, Oliver.
Okay.
I thought you said, what do they call it?
What do
They call it.
What do they call it? A boy?
It's a christening.
Yeah.
But what do they call it?
Yeah. I want to know the
We call
Gaelic
it a
term, please.
baby bash. And, come in, we'll give the baby the bumps.
Yeah. Dip it. This is a baby dip. Baby sauna. You just stick it in there.
Yeah, you put the baby in there and no one's weird about it.
Yeah.
Everyone's naked. It's fine.
That would be great for a christening if they did an ice bath.
The ice bath challenge for babies.
Yeah.
And the baby has to nominate another baby. Oh, God. But yeah, we went along and the priest came out and he read everything off of a big laminated card with no passion at all. And it was amazing. And now we're going to christen the baby. And he didn't even look and he just poured water. And he was in such a rush that he booked 2 christenings at the same time.
Oh, my God.
So there was us on one side, and then on the other side, it was a family from Ukraine who had, because of the conflict, moved to Ireland. And they were getting their baby baptized, and their baby much, much older, because obviously they weren't able to get that done while in Ukraine. They're super nice, and we're like, oh, we're so glad that we get to do this together, like as a group. But even they were like, that was a bit weird, right? It was just, they're like, is that normal in Ireland? Did they just read off? I was like, absolutely not.
That's so funny.
And also, the fact that it's laminated means there's been mistakes in the past where he's
my
like
God.
dropped it in and be like, I don't know what it is. Fuck. But he was not there. We just had to find our way into the church. And then eventually he came out and went, right, let's do this. And then did it. And then the second it was done, he went, right, thanks, folks. And he went back through a little door. And I was like, I was saying to my family, I want to go back there because I bet if I go through, he's on Xbox Live back there playing COD with other priests.
Oh, he's like on Zoom to the conclave in the back. Yeah. That's so funny. Also, just the idea of like looking at the laminated sheet and just pouring the water whilst not looking at it with the dispassion of someone who's like following a cake recipe. That's so funny.
Oh God, it was wild to see. But that's the Catholic upbringing. But I think it's helpful to get older and then realize, all right, maybe there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
you
like,
get through it all.
If there was something, all those prayers I said, ages, 3 through
we sped run belief. We're done now.
Yeah, I'm. If there was something, I'd have, and maybe tonight's the night. Now I've said this that I'm going to get.
It's going to come back.
I'm going to get 3 visitations like Scrooge.
What's your favorite story from the Bible? That's right. I'm bringing in new questions.
Here we go.
I like the one where is Zebedee's in the tree and Jesus
that's a
is furious.
great one. Yeah.
So Jesus seems insane in that story.
Yeah.
Get out of the tree, and he's like,
"Oh my goddamn tree!" Yeah.
You could pick a few Jesus stories, and you'd see him unhinged. He's like, he walked into the temple and he flipped all the tables over, started screaming.
Like this guy is on whatever the biblical version of cocaine
stuff
is.
Up. He shouts at people. He's friends with a sex worker. This guy's wild.
He's an unhinged rogue agent. I like the one where he I can't remember what book it is, but someone has like the devil in them, and he sort of exorcises the demon. But the demon has to go somewhere, so he puts it into a load of pigs. And the pigs go wild and run off a cliff and die. It's gorgeous stuff. Yeah.
And there at some point what got edited out was, and then the man came out who owned the pigs and was like, my whole livelihood.
Yeah.
My pig jerky will never be shared with the town.
But by that time, he's gone. Jesus is out of town.
Oh, Jesus is out of there.
The ensemble cast is left.
He's like, I got my 12 guys. You talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. He's like a
London,
TikToker, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
With his little entourage.
Yeah.
God, yeah, really, he really was. Because, I mean, he would just turn up, do a prank, and be like, it's a prank, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, my water's wine now. Yeah, it's a prank. Get over it.
And then forever, loads of random people will be coming back to the same place to go and see, this is the place where he turned the water into the wine. Their little pilgrimage.
And the guy's like, yeah, it ruined the lake. Yeah. All the fish died. The soil is alcoholized. It's just nothing can grow. It's terrible. But yeah, I think that was a big help in not believing in the supernatural, because what are you talking about? I have had sleep paralysis. Have you ever had that?
Oh, no, but I've heard of people.
So I read up
when
about
you told
it.
Me.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I've heard of it.
Sorry, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I should have said, have you heard that before? Not including right now.
Yeah.
But I'd read up about it, and then like it was like maybe a year or two later, and I was just I fell asleep, and I had a sleep paralysis thing, and it was so weird. It was just, and it's because obviously when you fall asleep, your body just kind of becomes numb, and you know when you're in bed, you're breathing, so your body can kind of feel your chest going up and down. So your brain, which is trying to dream, interprets, oh, somebody must be on my chest, and having that moment, I just went, oh. This is what ghosts are. This is if I didn't have this perspective, if I didn't have the knowledge of, you know, doctors and other people telling you that's what this is, I would just be like, that was a ghostly experience. A fucking ghost came in and sat in my chest, and then I woke up. Creepy.
Yeah.
But now I know, I'm like, that's just my brain. It's just like a part of a dream.
Yeah.
And I hate ghost footage. It's always just a person in a room that looks green because night vision's on, and a thing falls over and they go,
yeah,
and then run out.
It's also bad. It's always bad footage. It's always bad.
Terrible. They always go in like, we're gonna find ghosts tonight, and then something falls over and they're like, oh, let's get out of here. And it's like, well, what is it?
And all these quick cuts and everything, and you're just like, just come on.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to another place. Who cares? If there is a ghost now, you'll run away from me, you pussies. You're not ever. You're the worst people to go ghost hunting. You're terrified of everything.
Yeah. Why is it always people who are just like you wouldn't want to have a conversation with anyway? Like it's always just nut jobs. So just like.
Yeah, God. There's a show called Ghost Adventures, and it's hosted by 3 guys that look like their dream gift would be a Lynx Africa gift set. That's their vibe. They look like bouncers for a sports bar.
Oh my God.
And their thing is that they'll antagonize ghosts. So they'll go into a place and they'll be like, hey, any ghosts in here want to make trouble with me? And of course, nothing happens, but it's just so funny to see that bravado. But there's an episode where the guy, Zach Bagans is his name. And he's the best because the title sequence opens up and he does the audio and goes, I never believed in ghosts until one day I woke up and saw one. And now I am on my ghost adventures.
No.
And it's just him traveling around the world with his friends, and like, it's terrible. But there's one time he goes to Paris and he just meets like it cuts to him and then there's just a random girl with him. And you're like, oh, he's trying to pick up and sleep with this girl. But he's doing it in the middle of this show and this ghost hunt. And he's like, what do you think about ghosts? And she's like, I don't know. Are we going to go back to your place now soon? Or it's like, we got to hunt for the ghost first, baby. We're going into the catacombs. And
This
then
is crazy.
Him and all these people go into the catacombs, but he has to put on a mask because he has asthma. But his masculinity is so fragile. He's like, yeah, it's not because I'm weak. And it's like, no one thinks it's because you have a medical condition. And he's like, I don't normally need it. Dude, please calm the fuck down.
What channel is this on, George?
It has been running for nearly 20 years.
Whoa.
It's on, I think, Discovery. So
This
it's like you
sounds-
can watch Deadliest Catch and then you can catch this nonsense.
This is nuts.
It's wild.
Zach Bagans.
Zach Bagans.
That's
Can
like-
we put a clip of that in here?
Stop. Wait till I ask a question. Are you evil? Once for yes, 2 for no.
Look at him. He's on screen right now. Look at him. No, not for you. I mean for
okay.
people people watching.
I just as the monkey barrel icon. I'm like, wow, he is ugly. Wow. Just to be clear, I like the monkey barrel icon. Sorry, I just meant like. Sorry, I think it's lovely.
Sorry, guys. I just want to be very clear. The logo is great. Please book me in the future.
logo is lovely. I just meant more that if you were a person, you wouldn't want to look like a series of hieroglyphics. Anyway, we're getting in the weeds here.
So you have never had a supernatural experience yourself?
That's that.
I'd be fucking furious if I saw something move. I'd be like, what is that? Come out here, ghosts.
Just it would ruin the rest of life.
Yeah.
My understanding of everything would unpeel. And
God.
I like the idea of I like the idea of there being things other than I like the idea of like collective consciousness.
Yes.
And like, you know, if you zoom out far enough, you know, the fact that there's an ecosystem and, you know, trees talk to each other.
We're all kind of connected.
Yeah, and all these things. I'm like, that's enough to be
Earth's
getting on with.
magnetic. I guess that has some effect on
Yeah.
us that we feel it, but I don't think it's ghosts.
This is it. I like the idea that there's complex things we don't understand, but the idea of it being like,
Let's come up.
I'm just okay. Thank you.
But yeah, there's complex things we don't understand, and you're like, I accept that we don't understand them. I'm excited by that, but you're not going, what if it was just a man in a sheet?
Yeah, yeah.
What if
exactly.
that's what it was? Like, don't answer these questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and beat these up because my name's Zach Bacon.
Zach Bagans. And recently, big gossip, because I Googled it the other day because I wanted to see about it. The big gossip is the guy who is his cameraman had to, his wife's been arrested because she'd been contacting a serial killer in jail and trying to ask him when he gets out to murder her husband so she can go hunt for his ghost or something insane. Something insane, allegedly, for the podcast. But she got arrested because the police were like, we read the emails you send to prisoners, you moron. We don't just let you emails. But yeah, so that's wild. So that's why it's popped up on the internet over the last week or two. And the cameraman's the nicest of the three, and he's not that nice.
This is mental.
All right, question number 2 was, what is the fashion style you really wish you could wear but just know would never suit you?
I've really been worrying about this question as we've been talking, actually.
I think mine is dungarees. They look so fun.
That's so, yeah.
They look so great.
I'll tell you, I indulged the idea of them during the pandemic. Actually, probably just pre-pandemic, actually. And I found some in a charity shop. And I bought them.
Yeah.
And I wore them occasionally. And they were like quite high on the leg.
That's the issue. A lot of them are quite high,
but quite like, so very like nice and chill and relaxed and comfortable. But I do think it's very, very rare to get ones for the traditional male body type that actually look good and look good. Yeah. And you don't look like a big baby.
Yes.
Which
and
is what I did look like.
I see women wearing them, and I see women of all different shapes and sizes wearing them, and they look fucking great.
They look awesome.
They all look great. It doesn't matter. They all look, you're like, you're nailing that. And then I'll see a guy wearing it, I'm like, do I need to pick you up and burp you? What do I have to do? Is there an adult here?
Yeah. I have to return you to...
I'm in the shops now. I have to bring you to a security desk and do announcements to find your parents.
Yeah, it's either baby or like deep rural yokel farmer. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
it's like
fingers through here, just like, we don't like comedians round here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Unless you're coming here look for ghosts like Zach Bagans, who's our mayor. I think that's a good one. The dungarees. You go with that?
That for me, that's. I know you said it, but I want to claim it.
I mean, I just think it's just a frustration.
It is, because I think we're both of the same kind of genre of man who is definitely within the sphere of our desire to dress that comfortably and that like sort of because it's not like an alpha male thing. Yeah. No offense, George.
No.
But I think
I'll hunt ghosts right now, bro. All right? Ghosts, come at me, bro. I'm good to go.
But I think that's nice.
Try sitting on my chest now, ghosts.
I just think this is like, you want to, I mean, I'm talking about this a bit in my new show, actually. It's like male clothing is so difficult to do well and interestingly. And so we all end up looking like certain stereotypes.
Yeah. There's so many shops you go into and they're like, here's our black t-shirt section and our white t-shirt section.
Yeah.
There you go. And you're like, there's no personality. There's no anything to this.
You know? Or it's like it's super childish where it's like, look, you can have the Incredible Hulk on this one, you know? And you just like, this was cool.
Yeah.
For from the ages of 10 to 16 we're pushing. And then we happen to hit the amount of period of time where like in world history where nerds and geeks sort of ran culture for a bit. So that was then extended up to men in their 30s. And now it's over.
This is the announcement?
Yeah.
It's done, guys.
It's done.
Get rid of your graphic t-shirts, everybody. We're done.
That's fun and sweet and has a kind of 50s nostalgia vibe to it that I like.
Underneath it, Hulk pajamas.
Is that what you call your skin? My birthday suit? Yeah. The old Hulk pajamas.
Hulk pajamas, you know. They go, brrr, Hulk sleep.
Yeah. That's Zach Bagans' brother, Hulk pajamas.
Hulk pajamas. Good. Question number 3 then was, what is something you have said and have woken up at 3 a.m. thinking about it, thinking, why did I say that? I mean, there's just so many examples, but I think an important part of our mental health is not remembering these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rachel, by making us remember these things right now, you've ruined our day.
There are like myriad of these all the time. The other day I did a very classic one. I work at this bookshop and someone on the phone, I was a little bit hungover.
Someone rang you up and they were like, I'm looking for Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. do you know that ad?
No.
Oh, I'm so old. There used to be an advert where it was like an old man on Yellow Pages and he'd be like looking for a book and he'd be like, I'm looking for Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. And it would cut to all these different bookshops. They showed it for like 20 years on TV. And it was to advertise the Yellow Pages.
Right,
these ringing bookshops. And at the end he goes, hello, do you have Fly? You do have it. Could I order one copy, please? Yes. What's my name? J.R. Hartley.
No.
He wants his book. And everyone on the phone's like, no, a book like that you'd never get. And he's like, oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so much to unpack there.
Yeah.
Like, what a heartbreaking short story that is. That's so painful. And this was meant to advertise the Yellow Pages.
Like, we need to advertise the Yellow Pages. What if we give everyone depression from watching it? What if we reminded people the fragility and the shortness of life?
Here's a list of people who don't know your name. And then B, like the idea of a TV advert for the Yellow Pages is like, that is one of the oldest sentences.
Oh, absolutely.
That's such a...
Yeah. For people at home, it's like, we used to print out a part of the internet.
Yes,
and it would just
yeah.
appear outside your front door.
That's so crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that's like a phonograph about a fax machine. that's not a. What are you talking about? Yes, so many. Yes, someone called up my thing, and it was not
J.R.
Hartley. Oh, that breaks. That's actually heartbreaking.
I'm going to ring up your work in a couple of weeks and ask for Fly Fishing to make you cry in the middle of the day.
I would pay good money for this prank to occur. And I was a bit hungover, and they asked for something that I just so did not have, and was like, yeah, and this is sounding more and more like it was J.R. But as I signed off, I was like, okay, and I meant to say either all the best or no worries, and I did the classic all the worries. Goodbye, Tom.
I love it.
All the worries.
All the worries.
Literally every single one. I bestow every anxiety on the planet upon you, madam.
Wow.
Yeah.
All of them.
All the worries.
It's like the opposite of no worries if not.
Yeah,
it's like all worries all the time.
Yeah. So that was bad. Although I don't worry about that too much, because with customers, it's like I'm always gonna say mental shit, and they just have to put up with it.
Oh yeah, of course. I remember working in a DVD shop, or like a music shop in Ireland called Golden Discs was the name of it. And a guy came in and said, do you have any like, he was looking at like the kids DVD section. He goes like, do you have like, movies for adults? And I went, oh yeah, there's like, here's the DVD section here. There's all the movies. And he said, so do you have like any blue movies? And I was just like in my headspace of like doing the job that day. And I went, yeah, like, I thought like I was just a big fan of like movies in different genres, just wants to really get into it. And I went, yeah, there's like Schindler's List is very intense, and there's like Sophie's Choice, similar themes, but like they're quite down and kind of. And he goes, porn. And I went, oh fuck. Oh right, yeah. Of course. And like I came back into my body and went like, what the fuck? What kind of moron was I? And it was because he was looking at kids' DVDs going like, oh, where are the adult movies? And I went like, oh yeah, it just means like general section. And then I thought, because people would come in and be like, they would ask you so often like, I'm looking for a really sad movie. I'm looking for a movie that's, going to get me really excited. They'd say things like that, talk about their emotions. And I just couldn't believe it. And I was like, no.
That's so funny.
And then another time, one lady came in and goes, do you sell dirty movies? And I went, what? And she goes, do you sell dirty movies? And I said, no, we don't. We don't do anything like that. And she goes, okay, that's good. I've asked and I can tell him now. Thank you. So it's like it was her husband sent her in. Went to HMV and asked they got any horrific porn for me to check out. Real sexy.
His master's dick. That's the joke I'm going to make there. Okay, yeah. Is that helpful for you? Is that good content for the thing?
Is this gonna his masters?
Yeah. That's I suppose if you wanted to have like a blue movie that was literally blue and is also got sex in it, you could have blue as the warmest color. Would be quite a good.
Yes,
because that's very sexy.
You would see sometimes people come in, they'd want to they want to figure out like, how can I get a movie that has sex in it, but isn't a porn movie? And they'd be like, do you have it was one that came out 9 songs, which was Michael Winterbottom, I think, did, and it just had the stars of the movie actually had intercourse while the film was being made, which is, you know, okay. Does that make the film better?
Yeah.
It feels like there's a reason that we can edit things, you know?
Yeah,
it's like when someone makes a movie, it's like, there's no cuts in it. And you're like, is it good though?
Yeah.
Is it a good story?
Yeah.
But yeah, people went mad for that.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then they come back and be like, there's a whole movie with a proper story around it. Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Have you not got a phone? Go on the internet.
I know, it's crazy.
But that's probably the worst kind of interaction you've had with a customer.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, there's always worse things, but not because of my awkwardness. Often because people are.
But that is a good one. That's one that, like, in the middle of the night, you'll get like a sheet kicker moment where you just kick the sheets, and go fuck, because you just thought of something.
I was at a party once and I met the TV producer and writer Saima Ferdows. Do you know her?
I don't think so.
She's she's brilliant, and she we bumped into each other maybe 1 or 2 times before that at various fringe shows or things. And we met at this party and I did not recognize her at all. And I said, "Hi, how's it going? I'm Ben." And she was like, "We have not only met before, we've met twice before. And the previous time that we met, you also forgot who I was. And I had to remind you we had met before that as well." So I did it 3 times in a row. And I think about that. We've laughed about it a lot since. But I think about that a lot because I'm like, oh, I need to never let this happen ever again.
But no, only you know. So if it happens again, you can always just be like, "This is the first time this has ever happened."
That's
I'm so
true.
embarrassed.
But it's like a classic faux pas to make.
I would love if your cancelled moment was like a woman posted online and said, "Ben Pope didn't remember me and I'd met him twice before." And you're like, "Oh, this is an isolated incident."
Yeah.
And then 10 other women come forward like, "He's done it to me too." But you guys, "Oh, he done it to me." And then we're like, "Oh, we fucking knew it."
Yeah, it's not like cancelable, but it's definitely like, it's not great, is it? It's
not great.
It's like just
Nobody
he's
be like
quite
angry, but
yeah, he's like just sort of like oblivious and rude, I guess.
But you could do a video where like, "I'm so sorry," and then immediately afterwards become incredibly more successful, because that's how cancelling works, I guess.
Yeah.
you get your own podcast where you tell it like it is.
Yeah, and people will come on and I'd be like, "Hi, who are you?"
Same guest every episode. And you introduce yourself every. Nice to meet you. Fuck. Oh man.
Yeah.
Good. So those were our 3 questions. Then I think we've got everything put in here for that, and then we also have a little game. I completely switched off there in terms of like host mode. There, I just started going, "All right, we're done now." And then I just snap back in like, "Oh fuck yeah, the show's still going." We've got our final part of the show. We have a little game we like to play. It's called Big Ick Energy.
Okay.
Nobody likes it.
Okay.
We have a little game where I'm going to give you 3 cards from this game. On either side there are a bunch of icks. I've got 3 here for me. Out of those 6, I want you to pick what you think is your favorite ick there.
My favorite ick.
And your favorite ick. And we're going to ask you and Claire which one of us has picked the worst one.
Okay. And when you say favorite one, do you mean the one you agree with the most?
The one that you think is the worst ick.
Okay.
So you can have a second favorite that we can throw out there, and then you can have your main one you're going to present to Claire and Ewan. So let me have a little look-see there. Okay. Oh God, some of these hurt to read. Oh, these really hurt. Oh God. Oh, okay.
I think mine's that one. What happens with the other one? Oh, whoa, there's double sides.
There's double sides, baby. You got 6 options.
Okay.
So I'm gonna present one to Ewan and Claire that this isn't my choice. This is my backup. Imagining the biggest ick is imagining the person waiting at the top of a water slide, patiently waiting for the lifeguard to say, "Go, go. You can go now." I don't know if that's a big ick, but I like the image.
It is a good image. What are we meant to judge on whether or not that's?
Well, do you think that's an ick?
No, I think that's someone being very polite and nice. That's like good social etiquette.
All right, here's a new ick, everybody. You meet somebody for the 3rd time and they don't remember that they've met you. Is that a good ick? Is that a good ick, everybody?
I've got one here that says.
Also, you're in a sauna when you meet them.
You host a podcast and ask mean questions to the guy. No, I'm just kidding.
So what's your backup one? That you
My
go for?
backup one is gonna be is gonna be. I think it's the one on the same. No, it's that one. This one, which is they've been to Disneyland by themselves.
Oh, you fucker, you've won. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. By yourselves. That I don't mind people going to the cinema places by themselves, but Disneyland, that's intense to go there by yourself. Wow, you should have gotten. That should have been your main one. That's great. All right, give us your main one.
My main one is they put ketchup on everything.
Okay. All right. You never know with Claire what she's going to turn for, and also be like, "That's my kink." I like that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
My one that I'm presenting to them is.
My mum listens to this.
Oh no! Oh, Claire should have told me. So sorry.
She went to Disneyland on herself. Is that?
Well, if you're listening to this right now and this part hasn't been edited out, you can thank Ewan for that. Okay, my ick that I'm presenting is hearing them loudly go "wee" on a roller coaster. So which of the two, you and Claire, do you think is worse? You're not mic'd up, so you're just gonna have to give us a choice. Who do you want to go for, mine or Ben's?
What's great is that you could do both of your icks whilst also doing one of mine. You could go to Disneyland by yourself, wee on the roller coaster, and then also stand at the top of the thingy going like, "Ooh, can I go?"
we picked all Disney themed ones. Perfect. What do you guys think is the worst? Who are you giving it to?
I don't love ketchup on everything.
You don't love ketchup on everything? No. Okay, you've won.
Hooray! Yeah!
Don't love ketchup on everything. Does it make you physically go, ugh?
I like lots of ketchup on
You
the
like
right
lots of ketchup
thing.
on the right things, but not on everything.
But on like when people do it on like pasta.
But what?
Yeah, what is going on
The fuck
there?
is putting ketchup on pasta? Who are you hanging out with, Claire? This is the problem with these icks, is that these people are insane.
Yeah, I used to know someone who used to put it on literally like cereal and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it just, I also just ketchup in general is like fine.
Yeah.
But I'm
on
definitely like a mayonnaise rather than ketchup person.
Yeah.
Which I know is also a different culture war that we have to fight in various different.
I've had to recently just give up ketchup because it's too full of sugar.
It is so sugary.
But then I moved over to mayo and it's like, oh, there's no sugar in this at all. This is great.
As in county mayo. Or,
Sorry, county. Oh, well done. Fucking hell, my Irish brain almost broke there. Well done.
So it's just you said I moved over to, and I was like, oh, like how was the move? Like,
I've been roasted. God, I miss a joke for the first time ever, and it's an Irish joke.
I'm
How
sorry,
dare
George.
you?
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on to the show. We appreciate you.
pleasure.
We're going to get you to do some plugs now in a minute, so you can think about what you're going to plug and then
Okay.
put that in. For those of you at home, if you're at this point in the podcast, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below. Tell us your favorite icks or any of your opinions on the questions that we've answered during the show, or just what you think Ben or I would look best in fashion-wise. We're open to hearing that as well. Like, you're giving me a look like I'm very much not open to that.
No, let's go. Here we go.
And of course, if you want to see live comedy, Monkey Brawl Comedy has shows on every night of the week. And of course, I host the 5 p.m. Big Show every Saturday. Would love to see you there. Please come up and do say hello. Ben, what wonderful plugs do you have for us?
I'm just looking at my thingy to remind myself of what things I should plug. I'm doing the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yes.
So I'm up at the Edinburgh Fringe at the Assembly Box every day in the Fringe, apart from the 13th, with my new show, The Cut, which is, as discussed earlier on the podcast, a show about the long story of how last year I got circumcised, which I know does not sound like the best time in the world, but I promise you is like a very, very fun and silly show and is not too gross. So I'm doing that during the August. I'm then also taking that show on tour, including back to Edinburgh to the Monkey Barrel.
Is this in September?
Wahoo! In October the 19th, I'm seeing. And that's very exciting. So I last time.
And of course, you'll be turning that show around. And people can follow you on social media?
On social media, on my Instagram, at Popes Benedict, like Eggs Benedict, but with popes. And thank you. Wahoo! And then the same handle for TikTok.
Perfect.
And I think that's where I'm at.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it so much. Thank you for coming on the week that the Pope died.
Yeah.
We appreciated that.
Someone's got to talk about it.
I couldn't believe it. It was meant to be.
That's what I'm here for.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the people watching at home. We love you and appreciate you. I look forward to having you on the podcast again in the future. And thanks, of course, to Claire and Ewan behind the scenes. I've been George Fox. This has been the Monkey Barrel Comedy Chat Show. Enjoy the rest of your bleeding week. Bye-bye.
There's something hiding under the ice, imitation of a sound. There's something standing behind the door. Would you like